Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. My name is Donovan Gray, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is Donovan Gray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 400 videos on our channel. You want to learn real estate? We got that. You want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr. Sabi? We got that. Travel lifestyle vlogs? Got it. You want makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. The Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. We made different playlists for all the things we are into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 2, page 91 of this story. Okay, so the podcast has 4 different segments. We have the life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and the topics of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is December 14th, and it is 4:36 p.m. Before we get to the life update, the part that y'all hate the most, I'm gonna do it every single week, regardless of if y'all watch it or not, because I care about y'all. So we're gonna do screen time, because I know y'all be hating screen time. You'll be like, oh my God, screen time. Yes, I'm gonna hold a mirror up to y'all so y'all know how much y'all be on your phone. Okay, every time you hit a podcast, you're gonna know you use your phone too much. All right, so last week my average was 7 hours and 28 minutes on my phone, okay, for the whole entire week. And my most used app was YouTube for 11 hours and 50 minutes. My second was 9 hours and 3 minutes with Instagram. And then my third was Safari with 7 hours and 31 minutes, okay. I used my phone the most on Friday, which was for 11 hours and 35 minutes, which is crazy because I don't even see Google Maps on here. What happened on Friday? I don't know. I was using my mail app for 2 hours and 38 minutes, Instagram for 2 hours and 16 minutes, and YouTube for 1 hour and 48 minutes. Okay. Now, pickups, the amount of times I picked up my phone. The average amount of times I picked up my phone every day was 87. The most pickups I had in one day was Thursday, which was 111 pickups in one day. And then the least amount of pickups I had was 70, which was on Sunday. And then the least amount of time I was on my phone that day would be Wednesday for 5 hours and 21 minutes. That day I seemed to be on Deal Machine for 1 hour. So I don't know if that means I was driving for dollars or what. But Melissa?
Yes.
What is your screen time for last week?
My screen time for last week, my average is 6 hours and 46 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
My highest day was Sunday for 10 hours. No. 9 hours and 53 minutes. 3 out of those hours was Google Maps. Let's see, for the week, my most used app was Google Maps, but not for 9 hours, then Instagram for 8 hours, then Safari for 8 hours, which makes sense because I did a lot of reading last week.
Oh, yeah, facts. We can bring that up on the podcast. You was a lot of reading last week. All right, what's next? That's it?
My pickups, 119 average, and Wednesday I have the most pickups of 160. My total amount of pickups is 830. And my first used app after I pick up my phone is music. There's one more thing I was going to say too. Oh, my total screen time was 47 hours and 23 minutes.
Okay. this is another one of those weeks where I just been kind of focusing on what's ahead of me, as opposed to kind of I guess looking backwards, if you could say. So when I have weeks like that, I really forget what happened during the last week. Like, our life can sometimes get to a point where we are doing so much, things just happen and come up, and we're just like, oh my goodness, like a lot of things are happening. So I know I'll kind of obviously go through that through the life update. It's all happened in 1 week. So during the last week, y'all already know that we have a car, and the only reason we got the car was for Turo. And when we first got the car, we were switching insurances back and forth between a lot of different companies, right? We probably had our insurance switched like 4 times. So we have been switching back between different insurances. We were canceling insurances, getting new insurance plans, and so on and so forth, right? So somebody, the guy from Philadelphia, he put me on to an insurance company for Turo that has like a really cheap insurance. We only pay like $50 or $70 for insurance. It's ABI, American Business Insurance. It has to be for a fleet of cars. So pretty much, like I said, it's $50, $60. So that's amazing. I think it's ironic too, because he watched a video recently from Mod the God. It's on YouTube, and he had a similar situation to some degree. So we definitely have been rocking out with this $50 insurance situation, and there's something called gap insurance. Now, people who have cars will probably know what this is. People who don't may not, because I still don't really know what this is. It seems as though gap insurance would be to cover you if there's a lapse between one insurance that you have and the next insurance that you have, right? I believe in New York, which is one of the craziest or weirdest states when it comes to insurance, and this is based off every single person we've talked to in the insurance companies. Everybody's like, oh, you in New York? Oh yeah, you definitely gotta get on top of this, because they don't play out there. They really on top of this and that. You make sure you have this and go there and do this. So I'm like, okay. So now, we recently just got, it's not recently, we got in the mail that they are trying to suspend our registration, and they want us to turn in our license. However, we have insurance. We've been paying insurance. So they're saying by the 18th, we have to turn in our registration and our license and our plates. And if we don't, then I guess they'll be suspended. But we have bookings after that. So I ended up calling the insurance company to find out what's going on, and they said they already sent the information to the DMV. DMV has sent us multiple letters like this has not been sent in. They don't have anything. So now we are in a situation where we're just kind of waiting, hoping that the insurance company is either legitimately sending this out, and not even that, also making sure that whatever they are sending out is appropriate for New York, because we may find out that they go, oh yeah, we sent that out, but New York is like, yeah, they sent it out, but that's not what we need. We need this document. And then we call the insurance company like, oh, you need that document? Yeah, we can't give you that. So that's kind of where we at right now with the insurance. So we have 2 bookings. No, we have 1 booking for the rest of the year as of this point. Now, the reason why I said the Mod the God thing is because he recently had a situation where, again, he's a YouTuber. We went to school, like in high school or something like that. So he recently had a situation with the police where, it's a funny video, where he had got arrested and his license was suspended and his registration was suspended, and he had weed in the car, and he was speeding. All in one situation. It sounds crazy. Like he said in the video, he saw the cop, thought he was gonna try and get away from the cop. So he said, if I speed up real quick, maybe they won't see me. The cop saw him. To make matters worse, he tried to get low and go off the highway before the cop got him. The cop pulled up behind him in the gas station, and then after he pulled up in the gas station, they gave him they said, hey, your license is suspended. And they said, what? That's when he found out his registration was suspended. Then they checked his bag, found out he had weed. So it was just crazy. So I think it's ironic that we may possibly have ours suspended. So and this also kind of ties in something I want to talk about later, as far as how guys approach situations and how girls approach situations. I don't know, maybe it's a guy versus girl thing. I don't know. It might be, but I'll bring it up later. So I want to talk about the Turo situation. So we definitely have gotten some more bookings with Turo, right? Turo is doing very well for us in terms of the utility of it, as far as us getting a lot of bookings, right? We have been getting 1-day bookings. We probably have gotten 3 of them, and one of them canceled. So we are just trying to build up our profile for Turo. So last Friday, right, we got a booking. We got a booking on Friday at like 10:30 at night for Sunday, the Sunday that just passed, for 1 day, right, from 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. That was a 1-day booking, right? So I'm like, damn, that's crazy, because 1-day bookings, we really don't make any money. Like I found out, well, I didn't find out. I did some math real arbitrarily, or I won't say arbitrarily, but like kind of just generally, and we pretty much lose money on every 1-day booking. The reason why is because Melissa and I both will spend $15 to go to is it each? Let me see. If I spend, for me to get out there, it's $4.50 plus 3, that's 7, that's 15. So it's 15 each, $7.50 each. Let's say $8 each going out there, right? So for both of us, we're spending about $16 to get out there, and that's if we're going during the weekend when they have like a discount on the train. So 16 to go out there, to come back from dropping the car off, and then another 16 to go back out there to pick up the car. You're looking about $30, right? So right now the car is at $80. That's the price for the car, $80 a day. So Turo takes 20% of that, depending on what insurance plan we're on. Right now we're on the 80-20 plan. So we made like $63 on that trip. So we spend 16 going, 16 coming back. That's $32 out of the $60. Off top, we down to $30 now, right? We usually get the car washed every single time. That could run us between $18 and $25. Let's just call it an even 20. So now we're at $52 just getting the car to go out there and washing the car. And then we like to give a little, a couple of snacks and treats for the car. So what we'll do is we'll get gum, we'll get hand sanitizer, maybe some masks, some disinfectant wipes, and some candy, like some Skittles or something like that, and then water. That probably comes up to about $7, $8. So we're at let's say we're at $60, right? So we make either $63 to $69 on that trip, right? We just already spent $60 just to get the car out there, right? Now people have been bringing the car back and not filling up the tank to where we left it. That's happened probably about 3 out of our 5 trips, possibly, right? So now if we account for that, we're losing money every time we fill up the car after that. So 1-day bookings are not it. However, they do help the profile because we do get some very good reviews. I put them on the screen because listen, we care about our people that use the car. Okay, so we try to make sure that every experience with them is amazing, and it seems to be working. Friday we get that booking. It's like 10:30. I'm like, damn, we got a 1-day booking. Fuck, and it's at 5:30 in the morning. It's even harder because now we got to either leave the car out there the day before or drive out there at 3 o'clock in the morning. Right, those are 2 options. In like 25 minutes, we get another 1-day booking for Saturday, the day after Friday. And I'm like, bro, this is crazy. So they wanted the car at 10 a.m. Mind you, it's already like 10:30 right now when we got the booking. It's 10:30 p.m. We got the first booking. The second one comes in. I'm like, okay, this makes it really complicated because we have to now get the car to this person by 10 a.m., which means we have to get it cleaned and driven to Jersey by 10 a.m., get all the stuff for it, which means the water, the Skittles, the disinfectant wipes, the hand sanitizer, everything for it, and drive out there and then come back. And then they gonna bring the car back at 11 o'clock at night. Now, hopefully they bring it back clean or to some degree clean, because if they don't, we absolutely have to get it washed again for the car, for the guest on Sunday at 5:30 a.m. So this is something that, I guess we're learning as far as Turo goes with having 1-day bookings. It's definitely something I probably will not do once we have enough bookings. And then once we have more cars, I'm just gonna be like, listen, we're not doing 1-day bookings. Honestly, let me say this. I think 1-day bookings wouldn't be bad for us if the car was like near where we were at. Like if somebody was going to a parking lot that we own and we left the car there, we get to keep the extra $30. that stays in our pocket. So we're technically making a lot of money. We only will be spending like $8, maybe, $25 in terms of gas and the snacks that we put in the car. So like I said, I think Turo, I like Turo. I think it's going well for us. But thank God, because I just want to say that person canceled the trip on Saturday. So, and I made sure that I was like this, I'm blocking out Saturday because I don't want nobody booking the car again, because we already doing a lot. Melissa's selling candles. She's making candles. We got videos to edit. We are wholesaling. We are doing YouTube related things. We still have a life here. We have cats. We got stuff to do. So I'm like, you know what? If we don't have to do this 1 day booking, it don't make sense for us to try and finesse this crazy. Let me just block this day off, because the person said they were going to try and rebook the car under a different name. I'm like, okay, sure, go on me. As soon as he canceled it, I just blocked that day off. So then the following week, we went to my mom's house. And I think that night, which was, I guess that was that yesterday? Yesterday, actually, I guess it was. Bro, I'll tell you, I don't even know. I don't be knowing what days. I don't be knowing. Yesterday, we went to my mom's house. We got another booking for New Year's. That was for 2 days. So like I said, Turo was good. This month alone, we've had has anybody booked? Was that the? Right now we have 2 bookings. One that we did, one that's upcoming, and we had 2 that were canceled. That's potentially 4 bookings in 1 month, which is perfect for us because we want the car to be booked out 15 days. 4 bookings is pretty close. One booking is going to be 7 days. The other one was 2 days, and then we had 2 1 days. So we're looking at about 11, 12 days, that seems fine to me. So like I said, Turo was good, and I really think once we get a lot of cars, we could really run this up. I think we figured out, I think we're doing well. And I think we could definitely make a lot of money with this when we have more cars. So I'm happy with that. Now, it's next on my life update is the virtual assistant hiring situation. So shout out to Melissa. I thought you lived in Pennsylvania. I've been saying this for like mad long. She's in Jersey. So she hit me up in the comments in the last video, and she was like, yo, listen, you want to be I think it was a transaction coordinator or a disposition. I gotta find the exact term that she used for it. An acquisition manager. So I'm not exactly sure what an acquisition manager does. I have an idea. I'm pretty sure they have to like talk to the leads once they're qualified and then try and get the contract written up, which in my opinion, I think that is my strongest suit. Like if I want to follow somebody, it's very easy for me to talk to them, right? It's even easier to talk to them if they already understand what the phone call is about, as opposed to me calling them out the blue. That makes it a little bit harder. So it makes it a little bit harder, but not as much. If somebody's already called them, figured out they want to sell a property, listen, I could talk to that person for 3 hours. They may be my best friend after the phone call. So, and I think it's funny too, because in the email that I have, the bottom of it, that's what I call myself. I call myself an acquisition manager. Like that's the name I put on the what is it called? The signature. So I think it's funny that that's what she asked me to do. So I got to email her back. Definitely, like I said, I'm excited for that. She said we could split it 50-50 any wholesale deals that come through. I'm like, I bet. So in that meantime, over the last week, I finally got to hire my first like virtual assistant, like a actual assistant. Been training him on how to do calls. He does well. He listens very well. Like he's very teachable. So I'm excited. And of course, in anything that the Bamboo Project does, there always has to be a little twist to the things that we do. We couldn't call it the Bamboo Project if we didn't have a little something. So for the most part, everything was going good, right? He's in the Philippines, right? Shout out to my guy. And he was making some calls today, right? And I just found this out today that there's a typhoon hitting Philippines. So mid call, he's like, yeah, I can't make any calls because we're having a typhoon coming. I'm like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Like, is it bad? He's like, yeah, it's really bad. I'm like, damn, it's really bad. He's like, yeah. So then he lost internet. So now he can't make any phone calls. So I'm like, bro. I'm like, the typhoon couldn't hit next year. It couldn't wait till I got a deal. It couldn't wait a couple of months. Like, mind you, his first day was Friday. Today is Tuesday. So in the first 3 days, and honestly, the first day was kind of like just training and understanding what it is, because he used to just do surveys and calls for people who are doing surveys. He wasn't actually doing real estate. So it's cool because, like I said before, he's very teachable. He was offering to watch videos about real estate to learn about the lingo and the vernacular that they use so that he can be better on the phone. He was offering to even study the script over the weekend when he's not being paid. So I'm like, this is great. So that was the first day. It was mostly just him watching videos on like how to cold call and real estate conversations. Monday was our first like kind of good like first day. We still were kind of going back and forth. I would send him like 25 leads. I would listen to them after he did it and do a little coaching, and then send him another 25, another coaching. So I'm like, all right, bet. So it was good. So today I sent him like a nice, large batch. And honestly, he be calling a lot of people. Like for one person, see, somebody's calling me right now, which means he's probably calling somebody. I think his service came back in. He's probably calling somebody and they're calling me back. So like I said, this is great. This is my life. I've been trying is to just free up as much time as I can get. That's what I really want to do. So hiring him has become a huge weight off my shoulders, because for calling the amount of people I would have to call, he's probably doing like 300 calls a day, right? And I'm talking about like numbers, because one thing I learned too is this: people tend to talk about cold calling where they say leads and calls. If you call one lead, it might be 7 property or 7 numbers, right? So that's 7 calls. I got to sit there for each call, for every voicemail. It's kind of like, you know what? I really just rather not even deal with this situation. So I say he's calling them, he's knocking them out. He's doing, like I said, 250, 300 calls but before the work day is even finished. And I'm just like, bruh, I'm giving him the script. The script is working fine. I think there are some nuances I think that you could be tweaked a little bit, but in the first 3 days, I would probably say that, which is kind of crazy when I look back on it. I think I would probably say there are 6 people that I should reach back out to at least understand more if they want to sell, because his voice doesn't sound like he's from here. So I think that's a barrier when it comes to talking. So some people seem like they want to sell, but they're kind of hesitant. So I would just call them back and see. But I think there's at least 6, and there's probably at least 2 people that want to sell. So I just have to kind of figure out the right numbers for them. But it's only day 3, and I haven't even been able to really drive for dollars to give him leads. Yesterday, I just pulled some leads off of PropStream. So, for all of my wholesaling folk out there. So like I said, it's been great. So we going this week. We're paying him $10 an hour for 40 hours a week. So that, that's kind of where we at with that. And I definitely see us getting a deal. I see it. If I can drive for dollars every day and then get him the leads, I guarantee we're gonna get a deal or get a property in the contract. Like I'm pretty sure. He just texted me today and said that somebody actually wants to buy property and don't have anything to sell. So that's a buyer we just found right there. So that's where we are with that. Now, recently, I know I talked about this fact checker thing. I may remember, I may not. I brought it up because I said that my mom has sent me an article before, right, about how the 10,000 people have died in the house from fact checkers, right? And that was me. The reason I brought that up is because I was thinking, or I said on the podcast, hey, I've never even seen an article. I've never heard anybody talk about it. I've never seen it reposted, never seen it online anywhere that somebody said, hey, people are dying in the house from the, what they call it? The C19 covers. That's what my guy, R Islam calls it. Riza Islam. That's what he calls it, right? So I'm like, how is this thing so deadly? People should be dying in their house, but they're not. So obviously somebody here is lying. Like, I think you go to the hospital and that's where you're going to die if you go to the hospital, not in your house. I think your immune system has the ability to fight it itself for the most part, for the majority of people. But I think going to the hospital would cause a lot of the death. So let's put that to the side. I had told her that. So like 2 days later, she sent me like a fact checker thing. Like, oh, fact checker. And it said it's a myth, that's not real, whatever. I was like, okay. I didn't necessarily say that it's true, but I felt like at least now I have another source to go and contradict what I said, which is good. Like if it can contradict what I said or be an opposing thought to what I said, that's fine, because at least I know there's something out there that's like that in this situation. Recently, I saw a fact checker that said, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but just for, conversational sake, it was something along the lines of Bill Gates did not have a relationship with Epstein, right? Fact checker says that's a fact. And I was just like, wait a minute. That's not a fact. Like, that's not, like, how can you definitively say that's a fact when there's pictures of them, conversations? Like, how can you say that? That was just like, I don't really know about that. That's kind of strange. So I just said, okay, that just let me know that fact checkers is not as valid as I thought it was. So then today I'm on Instagram, and the Rizza Islam guy, I think his name is Rizza. I don't know if it's Rizza Islam or Rizza, but let's call him Rizza. He posted a repost of Breitbart. Is it Bright? No. I think it's Breitbart. And they said that Facebook admitted in court that fact checker is an opinionated fact checker. It's an opinion based fact checker. It's not based on any actual real facts. It's just a third party's opinion on whether or not something is true. So I just want to bring that out there because I've been talking about the fact checker thing for a while, and I just think it's kind of odd or ironic or coincidental that would come up. So listen, I didn't think fact checker was real, but now I definitely look at it with a side eye, because before I was like, okay, it exists. Then I was like, okay, it seemed kind of funny, and now I'm like, oh, they just be straight capping on fact checker. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm definitely not gonna put that much weight into that. So the next thing on my life update I'm gonna bring up was my license. So, bro, I don't understand how something that's as simple as filling out a form, passing a test, becomes these long ass processes when you put the Bamboo Project in front of it. Like, it just automatically becomes a hurdle. I really think God look at it and be like, oh, you gonna try that? Well, he rub his fingers together like Birdman and just sprinkle a little bit of spiciness on it and go, let's see how you figure that out. So I've been waiting about 2 weeks now, probably, to get my license, right? I've been submitting an application, fill out the paperwork. I can talk to brokers in the virtual world, which I think I showed on the video last week. I have a sponsor who I'm in a Discord with, which is like a group chat. We talk. I'm like, where's my license at? I look on the profile, my page. It says that it's pending or whatever the case is, or it's supposed to be pending. I go to the broker in the virtual world. They're like, yeah, we don't even see that on here. I'm like, yo. So now nobody knows where it's at. So I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I gotta take this in my own hands. I'm gonna call the state and figure out what the fuck is going on. So I called them, and I'm telling you, she's in Philadelphia, I believe, or Pennsylvania. She is the best. I don't know if you know call. She's called customer service. I don't know if she's called like representative. I don't know what she would be called, but she is by far the best I've ever dealt with. This woman stayed on the phone with me for like an hour and a half, and I'm talking about on the phone for an hour and a half, making sure that I had all of my documents submitted in the right place at the right time to the right people. So now shout out to EXP for this, because this virtual world thing came in handy real quick. Like, so as I'm on the phone, damn, my nose acting up. Fuck. As I'm on the phone with her, I think her name was Queen Debbie. She said, let her know. She said that if I ever call back and speak to her, just say Queen Debbie, because they're going to know who she is. I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm going to give her a 100% positive review. She's amazing. So as I'm on the phone with her, though, right? I'm walking through the EXP world because I'm trying to find the broker I talked to before. So she's talking to me, and I was like, listen, hold on one second. I got to go find a broker. So mind you how crazy this is. I walked around the virtual world. I found my broker, and I put the broker on the phone with the lady or Queen Debbie, right? So she's talking to her as if we're in the same room. She honestly thought that I was at the office talking to her. And I'm like, listen, I'm not in the office. I'm in my house. She's probably in her house. And we're talking through the computer right now. So they were able to figure out what the problem was. But when I tell you, I'm talking about, like, Debbie she logged into my account with my password. I'm like, hey, here, figure this out, do this, do that. And she was able to like get everything, put everything in the right spot. Like everything. Listen, I don't think you understand, because I can't even articulate how helpful she was, because I would submit it. She would say it's not submitted correctly. She would say, okay, try this, try that. It wouldn't work. Say, okay, try this, try that. It wouldn't work. And she was very understanding of the whole time. She didn't have no problems or anything. And it was just amazing. And we finally got it done. So I was able to get it submitted. I went back to talk to the broker in the virtual world while Debbie was on the phone and explained to them, okay, hey, now here's how crazy this is, right? So the virtual world broker was able to, in the virtual world, was able to pull up on her computer screen in the virtual world, which I could see, right? They kind of pull it up on a wall technically, but she's able to screen share her computer on the wall in the virtual world for me to see that my name has now showed up on the database for me to get my license. So now I'm just waiting for the email. Over the next couple of days, I'll finally have the official license. Like I passed my test, got a background check, did everything. I will finally have the official license, hopefully before the next podcast. Like I'm hoping before the next podcast, because all I want to do is just be able to say I'm a realtor when I call people. There's only 2 reasons I wanted the license. So I could say I'm an agent when I call somebody to disarm them, make them feel more comfortable, and then so I can look up and use the MLS. Those are the only 2 reasons. That's literally it. We have that. So I'm waiting to hear back, and we're gonna see what's going on with that. Another thing too with the life update. Yeah, I know I pulled a finesse recently where I was capitalizing a business. So I took the money they gave us. I took my credit card money off my credit card, right? And then I put it back on my credit card. And then I called the credit card company and said, hey, I paid off my credit card. I want to increase. And they were like, okay, cool. So they gave me an additional $2,500. So that's extra $2,500 we didn't have before to put towards the house. Like I said, to me, it's just crazy because we're just recycling money from this account to that account. And people are saying that we're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it was like, we really are not. So I just think that is totally crazy. And it almost got us $120,000 because I got a text yesterday and the person was like, we can get you $120K if you pay back $147K over the next 12 months. So I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. Like, all right, but I'm thinking I already have 3 loans out. I'm not probably gonna get approved for that. So whatever. Today we get a text and it says, hey, I got you approved. So now I'm mad hype. I'm like, yo, we gonna get $120,000. Like, yo, this is crazy. Like, that would literally change our entire life right now because we could pay for the house, we could pay off our credit card, we have enough money to move. On doing all 3 of those things, give us more money, and we can put it into hiring people to help us with what we're doing. We could buy. It's just so much that 120 would have helped us. But as I say would have is because he said you're approved for the money. And I said, oh shit, we're approved. So we was in the house. I was trying to contain myself. I'm like, yo, this is so crazy. Like, what the fuck? Oh my God, we gotta have $120K deposit into our account. I get a text like an hour later. He said, yes, you are approved for $6,000. And you have to pay back $255 a day for 35 days. And I'm like, fam, why the fuck would I take that? Why would I want $6,000? What I'm gonna do with that? And I gotta pay you back every day for 35 days. That's not even that long. Like, I won't even have the money for that long. So I'm like, I'm not doing that, bro. Like, that's crazy. And then whenever they give you the money, they take out all these fees on top. So I won't even get $6,000. I might only get like $4,500. So I'm gonna get $4,500. I gotta pay back $8,000. I'm like, bro, this is just ridiculous. Like, this is just ridiculous at this point. So you definitely just kind of, knock that off. I said, nah, bro, I'm good on that. Maybe, down the line, if things come, get crazy, maybe. But at this point, no. Y'all know that we are doing a lot of things on this. I keep talking about Melissa's candles. Okay, Melissa, how many candles have you sold so far? Do you think you've sold?
Probably, I'd like to say, like close to 20.
Like 20 candles, right? We got these small candles. We got they're 3, but they're not, I could say pounds and grams. Both of those are ounces. 3 ounces, and then we have a 20 ounce, right?
No, 12.
It's 12. Oh, the reason I said 20 is because the 3 ounce candles, they last 20 hours to burn, right? Which is crazy. And then the 12 ounce ones last 60 hours. So people have been buying them up like 4 at a time. and I feel like you sold more than 20. I definitely think you sold more than 20.
I sold 5.
You sold 3 twice. How many orders you had online?
I sold 6 in person, I think.
Uh-huh.
And online, I think I sold 11 units.
Yeah, so right now Melissa's trying to figure out how to get into a craft fair. And so do you know which one you're going to do or how you're going to do it? Like,
It's the craft fair thing is really difficult because it seems that that's something that you have to do kind of like ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And the time period that if everything was perfect, that I would have done that. I didn't even know I was going to be making candles yet.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's booked out for the rest of the year for like bigger fairs. And then for the smaller fairs, I still have to kind of figure out like how it works. Because even then, they still need some time in advance before I can do it. So right now I'm trying to look at fairs that I could probably do in January or February. But then after that, we're supposed to be leaving. So
yeah,
I can't really look for anything too in advance.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I can start looking for some in Georgia.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Atlanta. That's crazy. You gotta have your appraisal license too. That's crazy.
I have to pay for it. I haven't paid for it.
Oh, is there like a time limit? Like a year?
The background check, yeah.
Oh.
So that's something I'd have to do before I leave.
Oh, that is true. Yes, like I said, yeah, if y'all want candles, listen. I know that y'all like candles. I did not know how much y'all like candles, but I know that people like them. Melissa selling candles has shown me that a lot of people like candles. So she actually bought some new flavors for the candles. Which she hasn't. Have you made any candles with those flavors yet?
No, because I wasn't sure how I want to go about it. Because remember, I do want to kind of expand into other products. So for that one, I might make it a different type of candle or use that scent for a different product entirely.
Okay. Listen, y'all see Ember Candle Company's links will be in the description, and that's what it is for now. It's gonna be something else. It's gonna morph into probably just Ember, maybe something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it'd be cosmetics. I feel like I don't know. It would be Ember something or whatever she comes up with. I don't know what it will be, but I like Ember as a name because it's her name, like MBUR, Ember. So, I'm gonna keep you updated on that to see what that goes. And there's 2. Oh yeah, so there's 3 more things in life update. I guess 2 more things in life update. We went to Philly last week, which again, like I said, it's so crazy. Like we edit the podcast gets shot on Tuesday. It's edited on Wednesday, and then we went to the thing on Thursday, and then we had to take the car to be on Saturday. It had to be taken to be booked, and then it was picked up. But no, the car was dropped off on Saturday, and it was picked up Sunday night. And honestly, we did something on Friday too. I don't know if we went shopping. We were doing something on Friday. I don't know, because we were out of the house. I feel like on Friday.
So I know I went to my mom's house one of the days, but
Bro, probably yeah. So I'm just like, it's just so much. It's so much happening. So I snapped my fingers in the podcast here again. I'm like, damn, bro, we just recorded yesterday. So we was in Philly. The house is coming together. Now, I honestly, I'm kind of a little slightly annoyed because he told me that there will be an inspection coming, and that was during Thanksgiving. He sent me a picture. Let me see when he sent me that picture.
Who said that?
Tom, the contractor. Because on November 25th, it said, what day are you scheduling for the rough-in inspection? He said he'd wait for the holiday. As soon as he's back, he's going to schedule it. I said, happy Thanksgiving. Everything that was on Thanksgiving. So then last week, Thursday, I said, good morning. How's everything going? He said, waiting for the mechanical permit. The contract did not pull it yet. So that was November. Like, that was Thanksgiving. That was almost 3 weeks ago, I feel like. And there's no permit being pulled. So I'm trying to figure out how much, like, when is it going to be pulled? How much time is the house going to take to be finished after it's pulled? Because when we went there, it looks really nice. Like, it looks like a house. Like, it feels like a house to me, right? And we don't have insulation and we don't have drywall, nothing like that, no finishes, but it feels like a house. It's starting to feel like that. So I'm like, okay, good. But we don't have the actual machine that pumps in the heat and pumps in the air, whatever. So we're just kind of waiting on that. But we have a time constraint because the money that we have is on borrowed time. Like the money that we have is not for us, it's for them. So we gonna need them to wrap this up and get closer to the finish line. But like I said, I was coming together. It's definitely, I liked it. It was cool. We was in there. Like I said, I probably posted on our story. It probably wasn't on our story. If anybody who's following me on Instagram will probably have seen it on mine or Melissa's story. And I'm thinking about actually adding some highlights to the page. Like I could have a bunch of highlights in the bottom. I feel like I should have more. Like I don't have enough videos in the highlights. So I'm gonna try and fix that. And then the last life update is we just have mad videos. So anybody that's watching this that asked me for a Turo video, they will be out before the next podcast. I've already done 5, I think, or maybe 6. I had like 10 to do, so I'm trying to get all of them out. I'm gonna post them all at once, and then I'm gonna be done doing Turo videos for a very long time because they take so much time to do, and people asking them so often. It's like, I can't. They don't make enough money for me to do them at the rate that people are asking for them. So they make the channel, they're growing the channel, which is good, which is, I hope to kind of spread to other market people can see how to do it. But we still have bills. Like we still, we fight. What did R. Kelly say? I'm fighting for my life, like that. We still in fighting phase. It may look like we're not fighting, but we still are, still fighting. We tussling. So we have those videos that are coming out. And then before the end of the year, I really want to get out at least, it's technically 3 videos, 1 update for Turo, and then 2 YouTube videos about our YouTube journey. That's what I really want to get out before the end of the year.
That's 2 weeks now.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
2 weeks is Christmas and
I know.
New Year's and Kwanzaa.
Listen, the year is going by too fast. It needs to slow down.
People want to hang out. People want.
Oh my God, that's what I'm saying. And then,
family.
Bruh, it's family. People gonna be calling me. I'll be on the phone for a couple of hours. I still gotta sleep. I gotta drive for dollars. I gotta talk to the assistant. I gotta edit other videos. I gotta still do the podcast. I gotta go to the house. I gotta deal with that. So I'm like, about my goal is to get them out by the end of the year. And that is my goal.
So not even.
Get them finished, done, edited, and out by the end of the year. That's my goal. And going to 2022 fresh with nothing other than wholesale. Like just focus on getting that. That's what my goal is. So that's it for life update. Episode playback. So I did not listen to the podcast today because I was driving for dollars, and I really just wanted to kind of listen to people wholesaling and cold call and things like that. So and then other than that, the week's been crazy. But we did shoot the podcast last week on Monday, which I did not bring up. The reason it was shot on Monday last week is because Melissa had a PA job, which is production assistant. And again, for y'all who know, it's always going to be funny to me when I say it because there's like 2 podcasts where we was almost scammed. Like they tried to catch us slipping. Like they tried to catch Melissa to, hey, send us a check. We're going to send you money back. And this is her first gig. And then she went from that to roaches, and she was doing all types of like $45 a day jobs for the whole day. And now she's making $220, $250 a day for the jobs. So it's just like, I just think it's funny. Every time I think about it, whenever she gets booked for a job, it's just crazy. So last week the show or the work was on Tuesday, so we shot on Monday so she could work on Tuesday. Yeah, I gotta work on saying the instead of duh. And it's crazy because I listened to one of the podcasts last week when I was editing it, and I did not notice. I did not think I was gonna say duh, and I just kept saying duh. And I'm just thinking like, that's crazy. Like I thought I was gonna really say the, and I just said duh, and I'm like, what? So I don't know what that is. Here's my thing. I heard a video a long time ago by
Brother Polite.
Yes, Brother Polite. Shout out to Melissa. Brother Polite, right? And he talked about how the English language for black people to speak is not natural. And he actually was saying that it cuts off, like, in some way, it cuts off your throat and your passage is how you speak, and it's not very guttural, right? And it kind of also attributes to, I believe, the feminizing of men. I think it takes away from how the voice is supposed to sound.
If you study the languages of other countries, that comes into play too.
What?
Like how we talk. Like, I think it might be like with like when you're speaking. I think it's Cantonese or Mandarin. Like the way that you do your voice is completely different. Like,
and that's right. And with us, we don't really speak like that. So And I think I've heard that it's really hard to learn English, or I think it's hard to learn another language if you learn English first. I think that's what they said, or speak another language, because of how the language constricts your voice. So I believe that the way that my natural vocabulary includes a lot of words that have duh, like it has a lot of throat sound, like girthy sounds to it. So I personally believe that that's why people speak a certain way when or have a certain dialect when speaking in English. And I think it's funny too, because even if you hear people who are like, let's say, African, and they speak in English, they still, I just said they instead of they. See, that's what I'm saying. I just did it again. Duh is definitely a tie to roots somehow, because I'm pretty sure African cultures, there is a lot of duh speak, like a lot of like words sound like that. Duh. I feel like African, when I say duh, like that. But when I say the, it's like mad, not me. It just sounds weird. But technically we speak in English. And I think it's funny too, because people who are born here in America or wherever you speak English will assume that because you grew up speaking English, that is the language you're supposed to speak. In fact, it's not, right? So here's what I mean by that. Here's why this is crazy to me. We don't look at English as a second language because that's the only language that we speak. But we are not supposed to speak English. Like, our body was not designed to speak English. So we should know other languages, and we should understand that English will not be perfect because it is not our first language. That's not what we're supposed to speak. And I don't really think that people think about it like that. They think, okay, I grew up here. That's what I learned. So that's my first language. That's my speaking language. Like, no, bro. You never got taught your actual language. Like, nobody taught you how you're supposed to speak. Somebody just taught you a different language. So now you feel like, okay, yeah, this is my language. Like, no, you should be using a lot of more those strong words, strong sounds. And then last thing about this, Joe Rogan talks about this before too. Joe Rogan will say, I'm telling you something is, anyway, Joe Rogan will say that words are just sounds. And this is when he was being slightly racist. This is when he was being a little racist. He was saying that words shouldn't offend anybody because they're just sounds that we make. And then he used the N-word to justify why it's just a sound. And I was just like, that's kind of racist, bro. Like, that was a little racist. That was a little tiny racist. He was like, yeah, man, look, I don't like saying the word really like that. I mean, that's not true. But that's what he was saying. But the reason I bring that up is because if you go back to caveman days, I would assume that our words were very rough. How we communicate was a lot of grunts to each other. So to go from that to now try and speak with our tongue, maybe that's why they say that the tongue is of the devil. It's the devil's tongue, because moving your tongue around to speak is wrong. Yeah, I'm going with that. I think moving your tongue around too much is not how native African speakers speak. So if you were speaking in patois, what's something you would say in patois, Melissa? What's like a patois phrase? Wagwan. Like, look at this. I can say wagwan when I move my tongue. Right? But I started saying things like the. I gotta put my tongue between my teeth. Why am I doing that? So what's the word y'all would say in patois? What's a word with an S?
Scripts.
What?
Scripts.
Scripts. What is that?
When you watch something, scripts.
Scrub?
Scripts. That's a sign. Well, maybe, I don't know if that counts, because it's a sound that you want to hear when you watch something.
Yeah, I don't know if that counts. What
I don't know. Sorrow.
Okay, sorrow. What about any THs y'all got?
We don't say the letter H.
What y'all say instead of H?
It's just don't exist.
Like in Spanish, they don't say H. It's hospital. So why we got H is a devil letter? That's what it is. It's from the devil created that letter. That's what I'm saying. TH has an H in it. It's from the devil. I'm gonna find all the devil words. There's a lot of them, probably. I'm gonna look it up. Who created H? They probably a racist. Why H is the most contentious letter in the alphabet?
That's not the.
That's the article title from The Guardian.
Oh my gosh. Contentious. That's a strong word.
No letter has had such power to divide people into opposing camps. I told y'all it's a devil letter. You thought I was playing. I just found it right now. Okay. In Britain, H owes its name to the Normans who brought their letter Hachi with them in 1066. Hachi is the source of our word hatchet, probably because a lowercase h looks a lot like an axe. See? I'm telling you, listen. Okay, look at this. This is crazy. So, a century ago, people dropping their H's were described in the Times as H-less socialists. In ancient Rome, they were snooty, not about people who dropped their H's, but about those who picked up extra ones. I don't know what that means. There was a guy named Harius who littered his sentences with H's because he wanted to sound more Greek. It says perhaps the letter H was doomed from the start, given that the sound we associate with H is so slight, a little out of breath. There's been debate since at least AD 500 whether it was a true letter or not. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's probably a lot of H devil letters out there. Let y'all figure it out. I'm telling y'all, look it up. There's so much going on. There's so much happening around people that they don't even know what's going on. Like, here's another theory I talk about too. It's not really a topic, but I just wanted to bring this up. You can be made to value things that don't actually have value or don't help you, right? And you could be lied to your whole entire life and told that one thing is true when it's actually not. And I don't think people think about how many situations that happens in. And I'll give some examples of things that I feel like I've seen where that happens. One example, let's just go with the food industry. I watched a documentary about cereal, right? And breakfast foods. And in that documentary, they said that oats is not good for breakfast. Like, you shouldn't have cereal for breakfast, right? Now, if I asked you, when would you have cereal? You would always say for breakfast. Like, you are not trying to have cereal later in the day. But the only reason why people have breakfast in the morning or cereal in the morning is because it was a marketing ploy to get people to eat more cereal. That is literally it. So here's why I bring this up. Because think about how small that starts. You have two guys who say, listen, bro, I want to sell more oats. Let's make something called a cereal, right? They go, okay, boom. They figure out how to grow this huge company to make people eat cereal in 1915, right? Let's just say. So from 1915 to 2022, how many people do you think will probably say that cereal is a good breakfast food, or it's something that they probably eat when they were kids, or they give their kids breakfast? You will probably hear that everywhere. It's probably in the news. It's probably in your books. It's probably on TV. Your friends say it. But that all stemmed from something that was not true. And think about how crazy that is. It's become part of your daily life. You don't think about it. It's something that just happens, right? So another example would be speech. I don't know why certain words are the way they are. What if we found out that certain words were created in, I don't know, 100 BC to make you more submissive, right? Wouldn't that be crazy? Like, you would have no idea. So you may be out here trying to figure out, let's say, more lazy. Think about how crazy that would be. Imagine if somebody said, listen, I realized that the more time somebody uses the letter H, they become lazier because they keep going. So we're going to create a language that has a bunch of H's in it, right? Now, you would never know that, but every day you'd wake up and you would be tired and you would not have no idea why. You'd be like, all I want to do is go to work. And you kept saying H, you kept saying hospital, you kept saying I have to go to work, I had to go to the hospital. A lot of H's. Now, again, the reason I bring this up is because I think it's just a funny thing. There's going to come a time, right, in, I don't know, like 15 years or so, maybe 25 years, where kids are going to look at going to school like, oh, we had to go to school, as being weird. Like, why do we have to go into class? Like, that's dangerous. People could get killed on the way to school. Like, people have germs at school. Why would I leave my house to go to school? And if they are thinking like that, they are only going to make their kids think the same thing. The kids are going to be like, wait, you want me to leave my room to go to the kitchen? What if I trip and fall and hurt myself? Nah, can you just bring it in here? I'm going to just stay on my virtual reality game, and I'm going to just chill out in here. I don't want to get hurt. And I'm just saying, it's terms of the progression of the small totalitarian or the small tiptoes to some type of, what word am I looking for? Conclusion. I'll use a conclusion. We don't see how many little steps there are to get to that final destination. I just think it's crazy. Again, like I said, with the H's, with the languages, with let's go with this virtual reality thing, with food. Like I said, food's the biggest one because we've been told that food is good for us for the longest time. Food and everything, but. The podcast is not about that. It's just something I was thinking about. Okay, so there's two things I want to talk about. Well, three. It probably won't be that long. Maybe I'll bring it up next week on the podcast too. So this is somewhat metaverse related. This probably be a short one too. As I was using the EXP reality world thing, right? It dawned on me in there that I don't have to be black, right? And that never occurred to me. That never crossed my mind. But you know when it crossed my mind? When I sat down with somebody and they had like a strange tone. And I was just like, oh shit, I'm black. I'm like, he sees my character or my avatar as a black person. I'm like, if I made my avatar white, I wonder if I would get treated differently in this virtual world. And I thought how crazy that would be. Because think about it. I'm playing a video game, right? And I see a white character. I'm going to think that person is white. Unless they make their character look like some zombie, I'm going to think, oh, this is a white person that got blonde hair, blue eyes. So now I was thinking about it. I didn't do it. I might. But I'm like, if I go in and change my character to a white person, I wonder, well, I might do that now. I think I'm absolutely going to make my character white, and I'm going to start walking around and seeing if anybody's like, hey, can you need any help, sir? Do you need anything with you? I want to see if I get any type of different responses from the brokers and everybody else. That would be so crazy. But I bring that up because you think about the metaverse, and you also think about race. The same way that I can go in the metaverse and be black, and somebody could be like, you know what, we're going to help you last. They can make up things in there that make you feel the same way race makes you feel in the real world. Isn't that crazy? Like, you can go in the metaverse and they can say, oh, well, we can tell by your sneakers because you didn't buy the new sneakers. You know, you have the black people sneakers. So obviously we know you're black by the way that you dressed your avatar, even if they are the Incredible Hulk or Superman. We know you're a black person. And I'm just thinking, because race is as arbitrary in the real world as it is in the virtual game. And that was a crazy thing to me because we made black versus white a real thing, and when reality it's literally the same thing as an avatar. It's the same. It has no bearing on anything. We decided, oh, okay, yeah, your avatar is black, I'm gonna treat you different because your avatar is black. The avatar don't make the avatar no different than no other avatar. And it was just mind blowing. I was sitting there like, oh wow, this guy, for all I know, he could have been black. He was probably white though. I don't think he was black, but he could have been. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, my avatar's gonna be white. Next time I go into it, I'm gonna change my avatar to be a white guy. I'm gonna have a suit and tie. I'm gonna have a slick back hair. I might even carry around a noose with me too, just so I can be like, oh my god, he's really white. Man, I have a Ku Klux Klan hat, so I can really show out. And then this is something I talked about in the podcast before too, about money being a product. I might have brought this up slightly, but I also thought about this again recently, where people don't think about money as a product. Like, you can buy it and sell money as if it was anything else. And the reason I was thinking about this was because if you think about the entire world, nothing is marketed more than money is. Like, money has the biggest marketing campaign we have ever seen in the entire world ever. If you want to do anything, you need money for it. You need dollar bills for whatever you call your money. You need money, and then technically it's all backed by the US dollar anyways. So think about how crazy that is. You got music doing free market, talking about, yo, I just spent $1 million on this Bugatti. You have music talking about, bro, if I had money, I could get girls. You have music talking about, I'm a black girl, so I have money and I'm independent. You have music doing all of these different things, right? Everybody is talking about how much money they want to get. But somebody is getting paid off of every time that you talk about getting money. If you talk about getting money and I go, oh, I want to go get some money. The money is okay. This is a small, people who don't know this, you can look it up. It's called fractional reserve. I think it's called fractional lending. I think maybe it's called, I forgot the exact term. I think it's called fractional reserve lending, something along those lines. But either way, it's probably we'll see what, if paraphrasing. But whenever the Federal Reserve lends money out, they lend it out with debt attached to it, right? So think about how crazy that is. I will snap my fingers right now and make $1 appear, and I will give you $1, right? And I will tell you that you have to pay me back $1.25. So if you multiply that and scale it up to the size of a country, think about how crazy that is. I'm putting money in circulation and asking back for money that does not exist. Because if I put $1 in to, let's say you have a bowl, you have a fish bowl, right? If I take $1 and put it into a fish bowl, and I tell Melissa, hey babe, can you go in the fish bowl and give me $1.25 out? You will never get the $1.25 out the fish bowl because there's only $1 in there. So how can you magically make money appear and then give it to somebody and tell them to pay you back more than the money that you gave them in the first place? It don't exist, right? So you know what that means though, right? You are buying back the money that they gave you. So what they'll do is, in a situation like this, you may not have the money to get that back. But if I say, okay, you know what, babe, you don't have $1.25. Mind, just think about this is crazy. I have a fish bowl, put $1 in there. I say, babe, can you give me $1.25 out the fish bowl? She said, I can't do it. I go, okay, fine. You can't do it. Well, instead of getting me $1.25 out the fish bowl, can you just work for me instead? Can you just clean the TV for me to get that money back? And it's like, sure, I could do that. So instead of actually paying me back with the money that I gave her that doesn't exist, and she could never get it, she could never get the money because there's not enough money to give back. It's impossible. So now I have to trade it for something else like labor. So I go, okay, I made some free money, imaginary money, and now I'm gonna make you work for it because I know you can't pay it off, which is craziness, right? The reason I say that is because it's like this. Technically, it's getting deep. It's getting deep again. I was gonna say that the money is a product. So Melissa is technically buying the $1 from the other person, right? But she's buying it with her actual work. She's not buying it with money. So she has to work for that money as if it was an iPhone. Listen, I don't want to get too deep. Listen. Look, y'all should watch Zeitgeist. There's 3 of them. Watch that. The shit's crazy. I watched this when I was probably like 18. Blew my mind for the rest of my life. My brain could never fathom how somebody could invent this. And we just go, yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's go with that one. So, and then for next week, I want to talk about men and their feelings. And what I mean by that is, I've seen a common trend among guys that we really don't be caring about stuff. And after a conversation with Melissa recently, I don't know if that's good or bad. And I'm not gonna go into it too much, but I had asked Melissa, I was talking to her and I said, hey, I don't think women understand that guys don't have that intense feeling about things. We don't really care about much of stuff. We just kind of want to just do what we're doing. And then I was just thinking, I was saying that I think women care about a lot more things. So let's say you're talking about arbitrary again, applesauce. Okay. A guy will say, I don't care what applesauce we get. The girl will go, but we have to pick one of the 2 applesauces because, you know, if you don't get this one, then the other one not going to taste good. And the guys go, I don't care. I don't care about the applesauce. I don't care. Right. And it just made me think, why don't guys care about a lot of things? And I came up with one idea, and I think it's two ideas. I think one, men have been kind of abused so much that little things things don't affect them if they're small, right? They don't have nothing to, like, we've been told we gotta do this thing, we gotta support this and be that and whatever. So we have the weight of that on us. So when it comes to little tiny decisions, we're like, we don't really care because we have other things as men that we have to worry about according to society. And then I also thought about a concerted effort from people to make men not care about anything, because if men had that kind of intense emotion, we would be running rampant, fighting stuff, doing crazy things all the time, because that would be our rage. But we have been told to kind of keep that in, and I just wonder if that was done on purpose. So that was something I was thinking about. So guys, we will be back here next Tuesday. You can find all of our behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. You know what it is? Hashtag Bamboo Project 2021. We going up all year. You know the vibes. We got 2 weeks left. Okay, guys? With that being said, Bamboo Project out.